The phone call that flipped my life upside down came on a random Tuesday. My mom's voice was bright and shaky as she said, "Guess what? Your sister's back. Those horrible people who kidnapped her finally slipped up. She escaped. She's home, and we're going to spoil her rotten." My sister had been dead for 10 years. I'd watched the machines go silent, the body bag close, the coffin drop into the ground. I'd watched my parents scream over her grave that their family was destroyed. It made sense to them. She was the only child they'd ever really wanted. My parents had always dreamed of a daughter. I was the accident that didn't fit the picture. In public, we were a family of 3, my parents and my sister. They took her on family vacations while I stayed with neighbors. At home, I was background noise. She was the golden child they showed off. Every free minute she had was buried in books they chose. They hovered with timers and report cards while she blinked through red, exhausted eyes. From the outside, it looked like ambition. From the hallway, it just looked like punishment. On her 16th birthday, she slipped into my room after midnight with a packed backpack. "I'm done," she whispered. "Uncle Mark says I can stay with him. I'm leaving after exams. Please don't tell them." We shared a wall and a childhood. I knew exactly why she wanted out. I promised I would keep her secret. She never got the chance. A week before her escape date, a car hit her on a rainy night coming back from the library. By the time I reached the hospital, she was gone. At the funeral, my parents screamed that God had taken their only child and repeated "only child" until it started to sound normal, even to me. After that, they shut me out completely. I moved in with my aunt and finished growing up there. They never called or texted again. No calls, nothing. To them, their family had died with her, and I was just the leftover evidence. The only thing that kept them moving was their ritual. Every month, they packed my sister's favorite snacks and toys into the car and drove to the cemetery. They knelt at her grave for hours, begging her to come back and play, talking to a stone. 10 years passed like that. Then my mother called and calmly announced that the accident had been staged by kidnappers, that my sister had been held for years, that she had finally escaped their clutches. Now, she said, they were going to make up for everything and give their miracle girl everything. I drove back to my hometown, not because I believed her, but because I wanted to see how bad it had gotten. The woman in their living room looked nothing like my sister. My sister wore her hair in a short, neat bob. This woman's hair was long and matted. Her clothes looked like they'd been pulled from a donation bin. Her eyes were quick and restless, always counting exits. She smiled at me. "Hey, you're my brother, right? I remember how you used to bully me." My parents burst out laughing like she'd told the perfect family joke. I had never laid a hand on my sister. We were all each other had. I didn't argue. I just watched the stranger who had clearly found 2 people frozen in the same year and saw easy money. I pulled my mom into the hallway. "We saw her body," I reminded her. "You held her hand. You watched them lower the coffin. You know she's gone." "That was fake," she snapped. "The kidnappers staged everything. Our baby already explained it. They planted another girl and faked the accident. Bin 5 is now accessory belt." Back in the living room, my dad was stroking the woman's tangled hair like she might vanish if he let go. "She's even more beautiful now," he said. "She looked like Shrek on a bad day," but I swallowed the comment. I left before I said something I couldn't take back, telling myself they were adults and it was their money. I lasted a week. Then I dug my old phone out of a drawer, the one still holding my sister's messages, and drove back over. I waited until the impostor went to the kitchen, then set the phone on the coffee table. "This is who she really was," I said. "And even if she were alive, she would never have come back to you." I opened the last text and read it aloud. She was done being their project. She was running away to our uncle's, and she never wanted to live with our parents again. My dad's face went bright red. My mom stared at the screen, then at the woman, like the picture, and the person refused to match. "She's using you," I said. "She found 2 people who never stopped grieving and decided to cash in." Mom called me jealous, slapped me, and they threw me out. 5 days later, she emptied their accounts and took my dad's car. When they begged for help, I just said, "I told you so," and hung up, picturing my sister free.